What's up, Sooner Nation? It is Friday, a fantastic Friday uh, here at Sooner Nation, Sooner Surge, Surgeaholics. CJ Bunker starting it right.
Bang.
Thanks, CJ
Nice.
Bunker. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you,
And
CJ.
CJ says 5-2 doesn't seem like dominating, but Oklahoma did for 6 innings tonight on the mound in the field. It's just super sweet to see that crybaby weasel Mike White get humbled. That's always great. And listen, uh, the Sooners 5-2 in the first game. It's going to be a sweep, in my opinion. But what a way to start it! Kelly Maxwell proved, kind of like I thought she would, Jay. She's really, really good.
She she is really, really good. And she did allow some there at the end, but she pitched great up till then. And I talked about it in the post-game instant reaction video we did. I I think a lot of it was maybe, you pitch so good, then you have to get the last three outs, pressure situation, Texas, you're the ace of OU, just a lot going on. I was kind of glad they left her in there. I thought they might pull her for a second. I'm glad they left her in and let her get the last outs. Machine Gun Kelly, as Sooner fan says. Georgia lost tonight. Maxwell did pitch a gem. Boomer.
Jada Coleman, 3-run bomb, massive.
Yeah. And Tiare Jennings defensively was outstanding.
Yeah.
She made two really good plays off ricochets. So,
and we said defense was going to be one of the keys here with as many errors as Texas makes.
And they made more errors tonight. And Hodge needs to share the ball. I thought she should have flipped it TRA on that one too. Got a double play, I think. But I was surprised no Torres tonight, Jeremy. I'm not going to lie.
On the pregame, I said I thought Torres would be in the lineup. I'm shocked she wasn't, Jay.
Yeah, and CJ, I think it was you, among other people too, when Coleman was struggling early in the year. Everyone was like, just wait, just wait. Now she's leading the Big 12 in hitting. She's dominating right now. Dominating.
Torres is going to play tomorrow and Sunday.
I would think so. Here's the thing: is when is Texas going to throw their ace? I have a theory about this, and I told Hunter this in the video. I think he's waiting to see he's waiting for the easiest matchup for her. So it'll probably be
deal.
He'll probably throw it the last game of the series because I think Mike White inside just says, let's just try to get one game. I just think that's the type of person. I think that's what they're doing. Let's just try to get one game.
Yeah,
They're
Charlie.
not getting a game. Oh, you sweeping them. Boomer.
Uncle Charlie says we called it in the pregame. Texas prone to errors, and it's not like it was rocket science. Look at the numbers; that they're not great defensively. And Derek, I'm all about Alina Torres being in the lineup. Absolutely.
Yeah, and football did have a scrimmage. I believe Thursday scrimmage. I believe so. So, yeah. Hey, did you see the video of David Stone?
I have not, Jay.
Just went right by 75, deflected the ball. Eric McCarthy with the pick. So, any chance Eric
McCarthy is McCarthy going to play?
Any chance he plays at all?
Well, yeah, there's a chance. I mean, there's always a chance, Jay. Again, where and how deep is this team going to go?
That Jeremy.
Jay,
yeah.
CJ says Torres played second base, went 0-for-3.
Well, I think Torres. Wait a second. McCarty had a nice interception. Yeah, that's. I think that's the play I'm talking about, Bobby. Sooner Legend podcast says thanks. I see it. Appreciate the super Sooner Legend. I see another sweep. Yeah, Torres played. She just didn't do a whole lot. I mean, didn't really hear her name at the plate. Didn't do much. Didn't do much in the field. Not a whole lot hit her way. So,
right. But Hodge played in the field.
Well, at the end, Hodge played.
What I'm saying is, I don't play. I don't like. I guess what I'm saying, Jay, is about Hodge. I don't see a reason to pull Alina Torres ever.
I think her bat's too good. You got to play her. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't either, but
And Jay, the other thing is she's actually been really good at second. Alina Torres has been really good at second. So the switch to just put someone in for defense, in my opinion, I look, Patty Gasso's the best, and Hannah Core has been getting more opportunities. Again, she was great in the fall. We'll see how much she gets later as the season progresses. Maybe as it warms up, her back is a little better. I don't know.
hey, I'll say one thing about Core. She made a great throw to home plate. Almost got the last out of the game at home plate. She just hosed it up there, one hop and bang, bang play. And it was a great play. The Kenzie Hansen thing was weird too when she left the bag early. I hate that new rule. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I really do.
Hey, Jay, that pitcher for Texas that pretty much shut OU down.
Yeah.
I know you and Hunter are both kind of telling me there's no way she'll ever start. Is that correct?
She's not. What we were saying is she's not they don't use her as a starter usually.
She never starts?
They don't use her as a starter, Jeremy.
That's another reason Mike White is idiotic, okay?
Well, another reason.
I know. Jay, what?
Here's
that's ridiculous. This isn't Major League Baseball. There's no reason you have to save a pitcher arm to be a closer or something. That's the dumbest thing. If she shut him down, she should be starting a game.
The other one is this: the lady that came in and pinch hit the last one in pregame batting practice. She hit one off, broke a window on the house that's behind the stadium, past left field, just demolished the ball. I'm thinking, well, maybe you should start her. I mean, geez. CJ said they smoked her last year, so there you go. Hey, Roscoe, Sydney Sanders at first base. The two plays that I'm talking about with with the Tiare Jennings, Sydney Sanders, those aren't outs without Sydney Sanders' stretch. I mean, she stretched, made great plays over at first base. Sooner fan, absolute joke.
Hey, I may go on a rant.
Bronny James, he's not. The only chance he's getting drafted is because his last name's James. He's not one of the top 60 in the NBA. They're top 60 in college basketball.
Jay, there's no reason he should be drafted.
Ron. Now that you mention it, I do remember it from years past.
Jay, there's no reason he should be drafted. It is in my opinion, and look, Jay, can you give another example? Because honestly, outside of LeBron James and his son, can you give another father-son duo where
Jeremy,
someone was?
Here's the deal.
No, Jay, I'm asking you.
No, I don't know of any other duo. Why?
Or another example of someone who was drafted only because of their family.
I don't think, Jeremy, it shouldn't happen, but here's the deal. What's going to happen is there's going to be teams that want LeBron, so they're going to try to draft Bronny.
And it's unbelievable, Jay.
And he's going to pick where he wants to play.
Hey, wasn't the scrimmage yesterday? Thursday.
The scrimmage was Thursday.
Yes.
The news is they've only posted a couple of videos from it, from the scrimmage. David Stone and Jaden Jackson, it sounds like, continue to play well. I've also heard big things on Nick Anderson and Deion Burks. Just like, I don't think that's a surprise. I think what you're going to hear probably from every scrimmage here on out to a spring game is you're going to hear a lot of the same guys, because I think those guys are really playing good and they're standing out. Bobby put in here that Mike Hawkins went against the first team and did pretty well. So
what's pretty well, Mike?
Who?
Again, Jay, I'm going to say this. Tyler says all this is alien talk. I don't know if he's talking about what I'm about to say, Jay, but what you just said. Now, you did give one example of David Stone deflecting the ball and Eric McCarty making an interception. But other than that, most people's evaluation of OU is basically, these guys seem to be looking good. Michael Hawkins looked good against the first team. What'd he do? I'm curious, Jay. What'd he do?
I wasn't at the game.
Hey, someone in the comments, tell me what these guys are doing. Like, to me, I can't. Look, I would rather say this guy lifted 15 reps at 275. That's something that's okay. I figured it out. Hey, look good against the first team. Okay, tell me what he did. Well, I can't, but he looked good. Come on. Hey, now I will say what Mez says. Jay, last year, game after game, I'm talking about Rondell Bothroyd, talking about Trace Ford. I'm not even talking about guys like David Stone who actually can get in and get some penetration. I'm talking about guys who couldn't get penetration last year. What was I always saying, Jay, on the group calls?
Get their hands up.
Get your hands up. If you can't get in the backfield, get your hands up and knock a pass down. You're right, Maz.
Monty, this is actually a great comment, and he says Desan said Allie is simplifying calls and reads, and they're loving it. And that's something that a few people on our normal Sooner Surge lives, people like I think Eric's mentioned it about the complexity of the Brent Venables defense, and maybe Allie is helping that out a little bit. I don't know, or maybe just simplifying calls. Who knows? I think it remains to be seen in real game action, but yeah, I think Allie's going to bring a big time step of improvement for this defense this year, for sure.
Hey, and Mark, that's what I was saying. Our defense, our line wasn't getting the quarterback, couldn't get any sacks. So at least
I need to look. I can't look on my phone right now. Who wears number 75 for Oklahoma? Is it Spencer Brown?
Jake Taylor, I think, Jay.
No, I don't think it's Taylor.
I'm pretty sure.
Hunter, drop it in here.
Brown's 50. I think it's Jake Taylor, Jay.
I think it's Ozida, actually. I think it's Ozida. 70. No,
Jake Taylor's 76 then, or 74.
Micah will be at the spring game.
No, they're not on the hot seat. That's absurd, isn't it? Now, Jay, you've been kind of critical, so maybe you think they're on the hot seat.
I haven't been. Well, who was I critical of, Jeremy?
Miguel Chavis. I love Major League, and I love Jake Taylor on it.
Okay, Akinkumi 75.
That's right. That's right. I think Jake Taylor's 76 or 74, maybe.
Stone. That's on the video. Stone beat Akinkumi. Stone is, guys, for Stone isn't like 310 pounds or nothing, but he's a big guy, but he is so quick. He is very quick.
Jay, a lot of people on here saying Chavis needs to, on the field, improve.
I think the deal
79, yeah, 79.
The deal on Chavis is I think a lot of people are just hesitant because he's never really coached, and this is his first job, like defensive line coaching, for being a main defensive line coach with Bates. I think that's the main thing. But here, you cannot question his recruiting. You cannot question his energy. You cannot. The only thing we'll see is now what guys that he recruited are going to make big jumps. So when I look at it, I look at these at least 2 to 3 guys, okay? R. Mason Thomas is now in his 3rd year. To me, how you're going to see how Chavis does developing players is this year, because you got guys like R. Mason Thomas, PG Atabare, you got, help me out here, who am I missing defensive end wise? I mean, you could say Trace Ford, but Trace Ford's a veteran. I'm talking more of youngsters that he's been working with, that now you should start seeing fruits of that work and fruits of that development.
Monty says Allie took a Rich Rod team, which is like a top 30 defense. Yeah, I mean, there's no look, I'm going to say this again, and I'll say it probably 60 more times, or however many days there are till the first game of the year. There is zero, and people, again, are going to probably come at me. There's zero reason to think the defense won't be much improved again. They were much improved last year. I know a lot of people don't think they were, but they were. Numbers don't lie. And they're going to be much improved this year on paper, on anything, any way you look at it. They're better. Period.
Here's the thing. If you're comfortable with the defensive backs you got, and they can man up, and you're comfortable with how good they can play coverage for a good amount of time, then I would expect blitz after blitz after blitz. That's when you can really blitz, is when you can have a guy on an island and you feel comfortable with it. You know what I mean?
Correct. I agree, Jay. I want more pressure.
Was defensive end the weakest part of the defense last year? I mean, people are bashing the defensive end room.
Jay, to me, it was more personnel. Look, I think they thought Bothroyd would be better at getting to the quarterback. He wasn't good. Trace Ford wasn't as good as they thought he was getting to the quarterback. Those were the two guys that really, in my opinion, did not perform at edge very well. Maybe they didn't feel like PJ Adebawore was totally ready last year. I don't know, Jay, but that is a position group that last year, just for whatever reason, was okay.
Yeah, and Lori said that the defense isn't at least in the top 30. If our defense isn't at least in the top 30, I give up. That's what Lori says.
Allen wants complimentary football.
I agree. Mess. Roof was the weakest link of the defense. His input towards play calling from the booth was not good. I don't like the booth for defense, but I like it more for offense. But I agree with that, Mess. I think Roof. Let's just face facts. I mean, it might have been a safe hire, but it was a bad hire. It was a bad hire.
Roscoe says Ford's going to be on the field. Facts. He's quick. Yeah, he's going to be on the field. I just don't want him to be the starter.
Which
I don't
team
care
has more talent? OU or Ole Miss? OU or Missouri? OU? Are you asking of all those? And would you take our coaching staff over those mentioned teams?
Okay. You want to go first?
Let me go first. Let me go first. Talent-wise, I think OU has more talent than LSU. I think overall OU has more talent than Ole Miss. I think overall OU has more talent than Missouri. LSU is a question mark. And when I say overall, I'm saying they have some better players, but I think depth. I think overall team-wise, OU has more talent. If that makes any sense at all, what I'm trying to say. Would I take coaching staff? I would take OU's coaching staff. I'm not a fan of Brian Kelly. I don't like Eli Drinkwitz. I think Lane Kiffin has a pretty good staff. I think it'd be between OU and Ole Miss there. Let me say that about LSU is just because I don't like Brian Kelly. I mean, I think
Jay, you're right, and Mez agrees with you. LSU, I mean, if you're talking 4-star, 5-star recruiting classes, LSU's right there with OU. But I agree with what you said there, Jay. And Roscoe says, watch. Roscoe, are you saying Trace Ford is going to be a starter on opening game? I say no.
Who do you think starts? Just go ahead and drop it.
Well, the other question, Jay, is Trace Ford moving positions at all?
No. Where would he go?
I don't know, Jay.
Where would he go?
Is he going to move down the line a little, Jay? He did. He moved different places last year.
He is not big enough to play inside.
Okay, you're missing the point, Jay.
No,
he didn't only play.
I'm not missing the point. You're a defensive end. You can only go one spot in the middle.
Right. Okay. What I'm saying, Jay, is last year he dropped into coverage a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like, in my opinion, they need to find what his specialty is and only do that. He doesn't need to be dropping in coverage.
I would agree with this 4-man right there. I like that. I think that's pretty good.
Trace Ford is not better than any of those.
I think that's pretty good 4-man right there, actually. Yeah, I don't know about LSU having a better defensive line than OU.
Jay, are you saying Trace Ford is starting?
I don't think so. Bobby says Ole Miss has more talent. I don't think so.
Across the board, Bobby, or are you talking about one side of the ball, though?
I think he's saying overall. Eric,
I've said 10-2. 8-4 is the absolute worst this team's going to do is 8-4. And that's if you have injuries or you have a game where, I don't know, bad things seem to happen. Hey, the most talented team doesn't always win.
No, and I'll say this.
Proven that several times. OU's proven that several. Eric, wait, Jay. I said I think they're going to be 9-3. I said the ceiling is 10-2. That's accurate.
What I was going to say is those teams that you compared them to, Eric, every one of those games is on the road. That is the only thing
I mean, things happen, dude.
I do think OU wins. I mean, I don't think OU loses all three of those games. I think if they win two of those three that you mentioned, Ole Miss, Missouri, and LSU, they're 10-2. In my opinion, you got to win two of those three, right?
Yes.
Maybe you could win one of those three and get to 10-2, but
Mark's right.
That would be all your losses right there. I mean, so
ask Texas about being the most talented team. Hey, I am so tired of comparing OU to Georgia. OU's not Georgia, so facts.
Georgia's on a little bit different level than a lot of teams, though.
Eric, I'm not trying to fight either. Are you saying why does Georgia not lose 2 or 3 games a year? I think is what he's saying.
I think that's what he's saying.
Hey, I'm going to say something, and this is probably going to sound bad too. The only difference right now, well, I won't say the only. Let me change that. One of the main differences between OU and a Georgia, or you could throw another team in there maybe as well, is OU has been losing to teams they're better than. That is the main issue. Like, if you just take the games, even in the last 2 years, that OU lost to when they were supposed to beat them, then OU's in playoff every year. Now, that's been the issue. Georgia doesn't lose those games. They may have a tight one here and there, but they win them.
Georgia has 5 stars in every position, and Kirby can get them to play like 2 stars. He knows how to run a program.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Jay. And maybe Hunter can help us. What was Kirby Smart's first 3 years as a head coach?
I think they were 7-6 or something like that.
I would like to compare it because I think there's a lot of similarities in BV and Kirby Smart, especially in the first 3 years. Hunter, drop it in if you can. The record of Kirby Smart's, we'll just say first 2 years. That's all BV's been there. First 2 years at Georgia. Tell me what they were. And OU starting to get those picks under Brent Venables because the recruiting class has increased and increased both years under Venables. And there it is right there. 8-5, 13-2, 11-3.
13-2 is pretty good second year.
It was. Well, I mean, and what was OU last year? 10-3?
Yeah.
Well, they lost the bowl game.
Join the 12-0 club, folks. I'm with you. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's not an overreaction win today, though.
When was it that they made the playoff first? Was it year 4? Did they make the playoff when they were 13-2, Jay?
Year 2.
Oh, yeah.
15-0, Tyler says.
Yeah, Clemson is starting to. Year 2 was the Natty.
Yeah, that was the second loss.
And then they lost 3 games the next year after winning a Natty. I can't remember
they
who
didn't win a Natty. They didn't win a Natty a second year.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Anyone going to Wanamaker tomorrow?
I'm not. Was Stone the best true D-line recruit since McCoy? Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely is. What's in double overtime, Jay? Oh, he was saying the game they played.
The game, yeah. The OU schedule juggernaut going to be tough to run through this one. Yeah. Got to talk.
Jay, here's a fact for everyone on here. OU, as Roscoe says, OU schedule, Jay, is tougher, easily tougher than Georgia's schedule those years.
Hey, I agree with that. Hey, CJ, I watched it on ESPN, and I actually like the announcers, Beth Moen, Jessica Mendoza, and Michelle Smith. When they do it, I like it.
I'll say this, though, Jay. I do like all 3 of those. I think they're really good. But I think all across softball, CJ, People are getting sick of the no parity. People want to see the top dog go down so that there's more parity. I think that's a fact. Unless you're just an OU fan or you love greatness, then you want OU to keep winning and being great.
Eric, I understand that point. I get it. They are the standard. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best. You got to compare yourself to the best, probably. So Blake says Stone and Arnold are being propped up as saviors. We need to probably take the stress off them as fans. Don't want Stone to fall too. Hey, David Stone and Jackson Arnold did not come to OU knowing there would not be pressure. You're the quarterback at Oklahoma. That's one of the, out of all the schools in college football, Oklahoma and quarterbacks, you don't come to Oklahoma to play quarterback and not have pressure. And you know it when you sign up for it.
Yeah, and Jay, and Jay, when you're making $1 million a year as a college athlete, you got to expect and I don't think we put pressure. Look, they're not watching Sooner Surge tonight, listening to me, Jay, and the viewers. We're not adding any pressure. They don't. I promise you, a lot of these athletes do not sit there and watch social media, or at least coaches are telling them not to, at least. I think that's the way it's said. Now, they are on social media. It's hard to keep them off, I'm sure, but I don't think the fans are adding stress. These guys put it on themselves already. Fan stop. Again, shout out to the fan stop. I saw a guy at a soccer game last Saturday with the March shirt of the month, and I said, hey, man, fan stop. And he said, only the best. Fanstop is the best. Check it out, fanstop.com. I want to read Fanstop's comment here. Will OU's record be more dependent on how the offense or defense plays? I think it's kind of a no-brainer. To me, it's got to be the defense, Jay.
I mean, obviously it's a little bit of both, but I think more is hinging on the defense. I think the defense comes back. We've all heard the stats, how many players they got back, where they rank nationally on how many players are back. Brent Venables putting comments out there about how great he feels about the leadership of the defense and everything. So I think for this team to get to where they want to be, if that's 10-2 and in the playoff, whatever it is, the defense has to be really, really good. And I'll say specifically, the defense has to be really, really good in close games. They've lost a lot of close games in the first 2 years under Brent Venables. Fact. Okay?
Yeah.
They got to be really good and get timely turnovers and get stops when you need them. And they got to maybe they do have to throw it a little bit on their back some this year.
Yeah, but also I'll say if OU loses games this year, like 21-17, because the offense doesn't perform, that would be a travesty considering years past. And Tyler, I agree with Eric on this one. You cannot say just because OU didn't step on their neck in the playoffs, that's the reason they went on a run. No, Georgia went on a run because they have 5 stars all over the field, and they beat OU that game because they took advantage of opportunities. Yes, OU didn't step on the necks. OU got conservative, blah, 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 but they still took advantage of the opportunities. It has nothing to do with the next year or the next year or the next year. I agree with Eric on that.
Mark says, what team would we want Oklahoma to meet in the first round of the playoffs next year?
Not Georgia.
That's a tough question. Probably I wouldn't mind, I mean, maybe the third place in the Big Ten or
group of 5 bid. There
Big 12. I mean, obviously.
Actually, Jay, I'm going to say something here.
Group of 5 is a no-win situation, man.
What, Jay?
Group of 5, man. It's like
that's what I'm saying. I actually disagree with Hunter. I don't want the group of 5. OU plays worse when they're way favored over someone. I don't want to be the team that loses to the group of 5 team.
Yeah. Big 12 champ. I think it depends on who it is. If it was like Utah or something like that, okay. But if it's Kansas State, I don't want to deal with that.
If Oregon is in the playoff against OU, wow. And if
that's probably who you should be, Jeremy. That's who you should be rooting for, right?
Oh, OU against DG. Oh, bring it. Bring it.
Jackson Arnold versus DG.
Yes, bring it. Hey, if there's one person I'm not scared of to go against, it's Dylan Gabriel on the offensive side.
Hey, 30 minutes in, let's go trivia. Before we do, check out fanstop.com. Use code SURGE. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. Check it out. Great looking shirts and delivered to your doorstep. It's just great. Great stuff. Check them out. Fanstop.com. Here we go. Trivia tonight. Watching the women's basketball game a little bit tonight, UConn and Iowa. I did not know this stat. I knew they were good, but guys, in the last 16 NCAA tournaments, how many times has UConn been in the Final Four? First one to get it. Mark says 10. He's already guessing. Somebody's already guessing. Yeah, Caitlin not playing good tonight at all. Disappointing. Teresa says 14. Nope, not it. Not 18 out of 16. Nope.
Hey, Jay. What's
not
the score in that game?
Yet. Not 8, not 7.
I hope Caitlin Clark wins, although Gino Auriemma is one of his best. I love Gino Auriemma.
Not 13. Nobody's got it yet. Out of the last 16 NCAA tournaments, how many times has UConn been in the Final Four?
I hope Caitlin Clark has a great fourth quarter. And then I want to get to Eric's comment.
I still don't see the answer on here, guys. I think y'all have said every number except the number.
Was it 5, Jay?
No. All of them, no. Mark, 15. Should be 15, Mark. Good job, Mark.
Hey, Eric mentioned that Georgia team. They had dudes everywhere. Was it Roquan Smith, the linebacker?
Well, look at their running backs. It was DeAndre Swift, and there was
Chubb. Chubb, wasn't
Chubb?
It?
I think it might have been Chubb. I mean, that's their
two. They had a great receiver. They had.
If you remember, that game got switched to Georgia's favor when they started running the ball with Swift and Chubb. I mean, OU.
Well, that game changed though on the Swift kick. That's when it changed.
Correct. And
it wasn't DeAndre Swift.
It wasn't Lincoln Riley, as he did a lot of times, would kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, that reverse pass from Lamb to Baker.
I think that was pretty much the first team to really do that. Like in that scenario.
It was the first team to put that many points on them.
Yeah, but Hunter, Swift barely played, but when he did play, his carries were big. Go look at it. I thought he had pretty good carries for one was a long touchdown, I believe.
Eric, I agree. Eric. The defense wasn't good.
Eric, I had so many arguments with people over years with Lincoln Riley and whoever OU's coordinator was when they would score. I got in so many arguments with people. It frustrated me so much when people would blame the offense.
Nice call, Jay.
Offense. Oh, sorry. I guess he didn't. I thought he had a long touchdown. They would blame the offense in a big loss, like 48 points. 48 points is enough. Defense got to step up.
Agree, Jay, but I absolutely agree with you, but the situational stuff was bad that game from Lincoln Riley.
Doesn't matter, though. 48 points.
Well, sometimes you need 49.
Yeah, I could have sworn Swift had more than 4 carries, but that's who it was, Sean Michelle.
We said that earlier. Eric and Hunter said that in the chat.
I didn't hear that name. Yeah, that's it. My bad, guys. My bad. Y'all are better fans than me. Yeah, up 14 at halftime. Jay is all over right now. Yeah, Hunter, you are too, bud. So, Sonia Michelle, isn't that what I said?
You said Sean Michelle.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
I was all over the place yesterday, Jay. It's been a long day, man. Track meet, good track meet today. Got home about 9.
Who won today? Anybody?
We had the top high jumper and long jumper.
No, I mean, like, was it a 100-meter?
Yeah, there's a 100-meter at the track meet today, Jay.
You didn't have anybody racing there, or did?
Yeah, we did. We didn't have a guy win the 100 today. Man, I'm excited. Jay, spring game.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
Question for you. Based off everything I've seen on Twitter and everything that I've heard, are people more excited for Michael Hawkins than Jackson Arnold's spring game?
No, I don't think so.
Spring game.
I don't think so.
Oh, if you base it on that, it is. Fanstop, you're right. And I don't even know how to approach this, Jay, but I'm going to give it a shot here. Everyone is going to be highly disappointed, in my opinion, if the first game Schmidt walks out there, trots out there to kick the ball. It is to me, I think you have to go someone else. And I think the guy is Liam Evans. Now, if Schmidt's out kicking everyone
at practice, seen him kick.
Wait, if Schmidt's out kicking everyone at practice, I get it. I'm just saying from a fan's perspective, if he gets out there, I think this is my thing, guys. If you go with Schmidt, fine. But if he misses one, there's got to be a short leash. I know last year they didn't have a backup really, I guess, but you've got to yank him, or you can't continue to let him miss kicks. That's the biggest issue. Trot him out there, but if he misses, he's not kicking the next one early on.
What would you have a problem with first game? Like, hey, maybe kick 2 kickers, see who does it in a game?
I don't like that.
I know, but you cannot tell me that you can tell from practice who the best kicker is.
Now, I will say what I do like.
There's too much in between here for kickers that when you get in a game situation, how are you going to react? It's different than kicking in practice. It's not the same. It's not.
Exactly, Jay. And Jay, why can't Schmidt be the kickoff specialist and then get a field goal kicker specialist and a punter? You can use 3 guys on special teams. Make everyone happy. All Schmidt needs to do is walk out there, kick it in the end zone every time. That's his job.
Bobby says Keltner hit a 54-yarder in the scrimmage yesterday.
Keltner's got a leg. Liam Evans does as well.
Here's the thing. Every kicker.
Yeah, Elzinga's a punter for sure.
Most of them. Most kickers that are in college have a pretty decent leg, Jeremy. Division I, Power 5. So
yeah, but
listen. I don't really care. Personally, I don't care who does great in the scrimmage. I don't care who does great in the spring game. I care about their first game of the year out there when they line up for a 42-yard field goal, how they react. To me, kicker's a different position than any other position. You can kick 50 in a row in practice and everyone dead center.
Agreed.
Get out to that game. Look at Dallas Cowboys, Brett Mayer. He was a great kicker till pressure got to him, and then he had the yips and couldn't make anything. There's so much mental with the kicker that who has that? To me, it's more about the personality, the mental part, than it is actually about the leg.
100% agree with you, Jay. Practice and kicking is – these guys can all kick.
I'm sure they all look great in practice right now, probably.
Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm going to bring something up right now. OU brings in Deacon as special teams coach, right? I'm going to bring something up, and I'm sure Hunter's going to agree with me, and probably every Sooner fan on here. I am going to lose my ever-loving mind, if OU doesn't try to block extra points. I mean, and field goals. I don't know why last year they didn't even try half the time. And Hunter, it is hard to replicate stress of actual game if you never try to block a kick. They didn't try in games. No. OU did not even try to bring people on kicks.
I get it, but what Hunter's saying, it is hard to replicate. That's why I'm thinking first game or two, I don't have a problem sending 2 kickers out there.
Hey, Jay, do you think there's been a little hold off on people trying to block kicks because of roughing calls?
Partially, but even a guy like PJ Adebawore in the middle on a block, I mean, he jumps pretty dang high. I think he did that last year a few times.
Hey, am I the only one besides Hunter? Because I know we both said it, that we would watch it and say, they're just standing there. Put some pressure on the kicker. I don't understand that philosophy at all.
There's only one way.
I hope Doug Deacon changes that.
Hey, there's only one way really to, I would say, and it's still not the pressure of a game, but Blake kind of talked about it, about playing a little game with the kickers, putting them 10 yards, and every 10 yards they go back. If you did something like that where maybe your team has to, I don't know, do something. I mean, you can make pressure situations in practice. It's still not the same as game. Mark says, did you guys hear Teddy talk about who he thinks might be taking kickoffs in the NFL? I did not hear that.
Who did he say, Mark? Who did
Yeah.
Teddy say? I did not hear that.
Yeah, they prevented every kick. Correct.
Okay, Monty, I'll answer this while Mark sends that answer our way. Dad did get to go back from the hospital back across the street to the skilled nursing facility. So he is back there, which is good. And now it's waiting game again to see if he can improve enough to make the next step. But Monty, we do appreciate the prayers. I'm just going to be honest, guys. It's one of those things you ask, why so long is this taken to show some improvements? But in the end, I trust who's in control. So that's what I'll say there. DBs or linebackers, because kickers aren't in the blocking scheme, is what Mark said. Teddy said.
I think he's talking about returning kicks. Linebackers return kicks.
Or DBs.
Yeah.
And kickers just got to drop it into a zone. I'm confused.
I'm a little confused too, Mark.
I'm confused on what you're saying Teddy said about who's returning it.
Watch Zach Alley in the middle of the special teams drill.
Zach Alley has a lot of special teams experience. And before they brought Doug Deacon in, I know I mentioned it. I think you might have mentioned it, saying that Zach Alley could be assigned that role. Now, fortunately, they brought a guy who specializes in special teams. And Zach Alley can be extra set of eyes. I love the move on special teams. I think there's going to be a significant difference on special teams, and it's going to probably win OU a game, at least one.
Hopefully so. They lost a lot of close games. You can't have special teams be bad and win close games. Mark says not return kicks, actually kicking the ball. So you're saying a defensive back and a linebacker kick the ball? Wow, Iowa up 10. They must have had a great second half.
Yeah, must have.
Well, you're going to get Iowa, South Carolina for the championship. You can't beat that matchup.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know if anybody watched the NIT. That was awesome.
Did Indiana State, dude?
They lost, but that game was awesome. They played it in the Hoosiers. What game? What's that called?
Oh, what is the name of the arena? You talking about
Hinckley or
Hick?
What's the name of that?
Is it Hick? I want to say Hick.
I thought it was Hinckley.
Hinckley's Coliseum? Fieldhouse?
Yeah, they played it. Wherever that is, that's where they played it, and the crowd was amazing, dude.
Assembly Hall's Indiana.
It's not Assembly Hall. Milt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's awesome. Hey, that game was fun to watch. Seton Hall's a good team, too.
Absolutely.
I thought it was.
You denied that, though. That's right, Jay.
What do you mean I can say that?
You said it was an awesome game, but you were bashing on the NIT. I said, you should go there. You said, no way, it's stupid tournament.
No, I said, if nobody wants to play in it, why would you go play in it? Hunter says no NIL deal from McAfee for him now. What are you talking about for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Kareem Abdul-Avila?
Is he any relation to Victor Avila?
No, none. I've already looked it up. None.
Hey, tomorrow you got OU Texas game 2. I expect Nicole May. We'll see if they go with their ace, but I'm going to expect a run rule again because that's what I do most of the time, Jay. But I want to shout out a couple things. I want to shout out to FanStop for amazing gear, for amazing products. Fanstop.com. Check it out. 10% off your first 3 months if you join the Shirt of the Month Club. It's well worth it. Sent to your doorstep. and it's something new every month, and they're all great. CJ Bunker, thanks so much for the super today.
Appreciate it, CJ.
Appreciate you starting off the show with the super. And for Sooner Legend Podcast, Mike, who sees another sweep. Thanks for the $2 super. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys tonight, guys and gals, and we'll do this again tomorrow. Boomer.
Sooner.